Check, 1, 2, beer check is...
We've and the gotta do glare check. Yeah.
Mine's fresh, so.
Hi, I'm Greg from RVH Lifestyles, and this is Cole Brokenicky from New Horizons RV here in Junction City, Kansas. My customers are frequently drawn to the New Horizons product because of the quality, because of the attention to detail that we're going to see today. And today, Cole is going to take us on a production facility tour of this pretty impressive facility. And let's start.
Thank you, Greg, and welcome back to New Horizons. Good to have you here today.
Welcome to New Horizons RV. We're located in Junction City, Kansas, right off of Interstate 70. Our building is a newer building. We built in 2008, which already feels like a long time ago, but still newer. Got about 42,000 square feet of production space. We also have a 4-bay service center to the north. And then our lot for new and used to the south. And we do our deliveries here at our shop too, right outside of our office. This is where your experience with New Horizons begins. As you walk into our front office, you will see all of our different decor options and just different things that we can put together to build your dream RV. Got some materials left out from an order we just wrapped up last week. From cabinetry samples, flooring, the window treatments, all the different things that are important to get the look just right for you, we put together up here with you. All right, let's go ahead and head out and see where we build our units. All right, the life of a New Horizons starts out here in our shop. We build our own chassis, which we've done since day one. We find it to be a very important part of the build quality, the longevity, of course, of one of our units, because we're able to control the quality and put together a very strong foundation for you. This is one of our Majestic units. Its main chassis features a 12-inch beam stacked with a 2x4-inch box tube. The I-beam is a 3/16 inch gauge, and then our 2x4-inch box tube, which will be welded here, is a 1/4 inch gauge. At this point in the build, we'll also set the axles. 36 feet and longer, we do triple axle units. Our Majestic features Moride IS as standard equipment. Our Summit line does as well. The floor plans, of course, with our Summit line are set, so there's a little less to choose from on those, but they're still the same infrastructure quality as our Majestic. You can see in some areas we have some cuts through. This will be where a slide ram goes. We have gusset plates that get welded back on to the webbing for the slide room to come in and out. Circular cuts don't weaken the webbing as much. So in those cases, we get them wrapped with loom so they don't wear your wires from vibration going down the road. The combination of the two, I-beam and box tube, we feel gives us a good combination because I-beams, great for spanning distance. You see them under bridges all the time. Not very good for lateral stability. If you lay it on its side, it'll just bow quite a bit. The box tube with 4 walls gives us great lateral stability. That's why we tack it underneath the 12-inch beam. So it's kind of a hybrid of the two different philosophies in the industry over the years. We'll step outside the door and see a completed chassis. This unit has about 4 more days of work in the chassis shop to be completed. But we'll go ahead and step out the door and show you an actual completed chassis to show some more features of it. As our chassis is completed, runs to the south end of our shop where it gets painted with the specialized chassis paint. Then it'll come back in and start in station 2, where we get all of our electrical, plumbing, all the base infrastructure laid in this area. But I do want to point out some things with our chassis. The outriggers to support all the weight with the flooring, Bigfoot leveling, standard equipment. We use 4 legs. Each have a 17,000 pound lift capacity. Also notice the rear legs are installed at an angle, which is going to help with stability when you're set up. If we take a peek on the inside of the chassis, you'll notice this odd looking contraption of steel. This is actually where we mount our generator. We put it behind the axles, between the frame rails, which lightens up the front pin area and also gives us more storage up front. It also helps with some noise. The exhaust comes out the rear of the unit, which makes it very quiet running. We can offer the generator in the very traditional propane fired. We also do gasoline and diesel fired generators. If you look behind you, standard on every unit we build, we have very heavy duty skid rollers. The bigger these rigs get, the more likely they are to hit the rear end when we're going out of gas stations. Our driveway is one of the worst places there is because of the undulation in the street. But this is a toy hauler, as evidenced by the little beaver tail where the floor is going to slope down to reduce the ramp angle. You also may notice our receiver hitches that we install are very well supported, gusset plates, multiple weld points. We do have a number of customers that double tow. However, getting over length is very easy on our average build right now if you plan to double tow a unit. We'll head up to the front of the rig. And just a disclaimer, this unit looks funny. We're waiting on a third 9K axle to come in. Only 2 in stock, so they're in the middle of building one. This will have 3 axles on it. Right now it just has the 2. But holding tanks will get installed in this station. 70-gallon black, 70-gallon gray. Everything's going to be enclosed. As you can see, we use the Astrofoil insulation, which is a really good heat reflector. Standard on every New Horizons, we give you a -10-degree guarantee against freeze-ups. This area is always enclosed, heated, and insulated. With our 2 furnaces that we use standard, there is a 2-inch duct from each furnace that blows hot air into the enclosed area. So as long as you're cycling one of your propane furnaces, we guarantee our units to not freeze up down to -10 degrees. As you can also see in the rear, fresh water tank. 100 gallons, we locate it over the rear axle so that if you do have it full of water, that's roughly 830 pounds, you're not going to throw off your pin weights considerably by having the fluid in the tank. Another attention to detail that we do at New Horizons, if you'll notice, a lot of our wiring running through our wire harness is loomed. Within that loom, all of our wiring is color coordinated so that we know where it's running to, what it's for. This area will eventually be our utility center where we hook up our water, our manifold, all the different hookups for the exterior will be behind a door. Then we'll have the grommeted holes coming out the bottom so you don't have a bunch of unsightly wires and hoses coming out the side of the coach. The basement area, so you can see our main chassis runs further back in the unit to drop down and made up with the rest of the chassis. A traditional fifth wheel frame typically has the drop down at the very front of the fifth wheel. Moving it back gives us the ability to put more structure with the frame to reduce flex. This is always the weakest point on any fifth wheel chassis, so try to minimize flex as much as possible by beefing up this area. Our LP tray will be located in this area. The basement will be fully insulated. We heat it, of course, and anything you keep down here, you're going to have the comfort of inside the coach, from freezing up. Holding tanks, as we get further down the line, you'll see these are accessed from the basement area as opposed to ripping apart your underbelly to get to valves. We used to use electric gate valves. I know they're available in the industry. We had a lot of issues with them. They may have improved their product since then, but we find the manuals to be very adequate, and when you do have to replace them, because it is inevitable, it's a less expensive fix, and because our gate valves are accessed from our basement, you don't have to spend a tech all sorts of money to rip an underbelly apart, install a valve, and then reinstall the underbelly. Moving to the front of the coach, we've got our battery tray area. This area is large enough to fit 6 batteries, from Trojan 6 volts to AGMs to the L16 tall type batteries. We've done quite a few different variations in this area. 12 volt wiring, just a lot of attention to detail, shrunk wrapped lines, 12 volt disconnect, of course, for the whole coach. And eventually in this area we'll have breaker panels, fuse boxes, etc. Storage into your basement area. Typically generator would have went right here, but since we install ours behind the axles, it gives you more storage at the front of the coach. While we're up here, because it's a question I get often, our bedroom slides are fully hydraulic, individually controlled. This unit features 2 bedroom slides, so the main bed and then the bedroom vanity. You can see in this space, we cut through the 2x8 inch box tube, but then we weld back in a steel sleeve to bring strength back into that cutout. Okay. We're going to take you back to the area where we laminate our sidewalls, build our flooring, our roofing, and all of our slide rooms. Now the life of the wall begins in our weld shop. The large table has the aluminum laid out on it, fully welded. And also notice the gauge of aluminum we use gives us great structure, much less likelihood of flexing. Doesn't have any condensation issues because it's thicker aluminum. And our philosophy with lamination in the sidewall, using a high density foam in all these cavities that you see, allows us to have a very well insulated product and not interrupt the insulation by having your traditional 16-inch on center studs. Aluminum, no matter what you do to it, it's a pretty poor insulator. So you can stuff it with foam, you can do all sorts of stuff, but it's still going to be a heat sink in the sidewall. So you can see this piece here, after it's welded together, is laid up on this cart, and then we'll push it down and lay it out on our wall where we'll start laminating the insulation and the fiberglass together. All right. So this table will slide out and give us a work surface to lay everything together, and then we can slide it back under when we need to bring things through the door. With the walls, got a hot glue machine that glues the materials together, and we pinch press through this roller. So this is a window cutout that shows you kind of, I've always jokingly call it our wall sandwich. Got the high density foam, interior wallboard with the wallpaper pre-bonded to it, Luan, and fiberglass. Now this is a cutout from one of the side walls of our slide room. Our main slide, as I'll show you in a little bit, comes with a thicker fiberglass. Right, in this area, we build all of our slide rooms, actually built offline, and then we'll use this overhead crane system to move it into place to get them set and installed. We've been able to open up an entire workstation by doing this. So we have the first station where the base plumbing and electrical get fit. We've got the second station where the flooring gets fit, base cabinetry, and we'll just keep moving along. Using this overhead crane system allows us to move parts more efficiently, more safely. We're able to build our flooring completely offline and then use an overhead crane to set it on the chassis. It just allows us to have our workflow be more effective. As the unit continues down the line, you can see this has the flooring set. Got base cabinetry started on this unit. Anything that's not in a slide room we consider base cabinetry. So this unit has a single slide room in the bedroom. The bedroom vanity cabinetry is stationary. Washer dryer cabinetry, bedroom vanity, things that don't move in and out with the slides. The cabinetry, as you can see, the face frames are all glued and pocket screwed, which gives us a very strong structure. The wiring that you can see going up into that space is loomed, so it's well protected as drawers travel in and out. Just a lot of little attention to detail that really separate us from our competition. In the basement, you can see the structure is really starting to take shape. The manifold will be installed with our hot and cold water lines ran everywhere. Heat ducts you can see start to take shape. Underbelly is now enclosed. Our flooring features the 1.5" styrofoam insulation built into it. You can't see it from here, but behind that aluminum is our blue styrofoam insulation. So our flooring is well insulated, including our slide room floors. We put the blue high density foam. So it's very comfortable in the cold weather. One more station down, just more and more is really starting to take shape. We've got the boxes for where the furnaces are going to be installed, starting to get those in their place. The manifold, exterior monitor, so we've got one on the interior. We also have one on the outside, so if you're filling your freshwater tank, if you're not sure your black or gray tanks are all the way dumped, you can monitor that from the outside as well as the inside of the coach. Outside shower, black tank, gray tank, or black tank and gray tank flush out systems, all of our gate valve controls. If you were to option in the freshwater hose reel, that would be in this area. Standard, of course, just a water hookup, city fill, fresh tank fill, etc. Eventually this area will be our sewer dump station. So we give you storage to put hoses and things so you don't have to mix that up with other items in your basement storage area. If you take a peek up here, you can see a lot of the cabinetry really coming together. This unit we did a customized wardrobe closet. Instead of a full-length hanging storage, we built a unit that has drawers, some shelving, and then a reduced hanging closet. The folks that ordered this with me, they don't have many hanging clothes, so they didn't want the whole front end of the unit to have, for them, it would have been wasted space. So we designed and built this. Still features our cedar line closet. Still features our cedar line pull-out hamper that will be in this area. This will be a clothes hamper. And of course our drawers, just storage everywhere. When you're full-time, you got a lot of gear with you. So, and also you'll see this basement is our maximum size basement, which will feature a set of French doors here and a smaller door here. A lot of outside storage. The plumbing, the electrical just continually keeps coming together. Again, you can see a lot of the base wiring that is still getting worked on, loomed and set together. A plumbing lines getting ran. Toilet is now set. Just a lot of the features keep taking shape with each station. So by the end of next week, this unit will have the walls and the roof set on it, and then the following week, if you take a peek behind you, will start to resemble this unit, which is almost fully shelled. Slide room set, skirting on, baggage doors installed, end caps installed, roof trim, everything on the exterior. When the unit's out of this station, will be, for all intents and purposes, done on the exterior. Now our molded fiberglass caps, as pretty as they are, they kind of are just pretty. The insulation behind them is built the same way we build our sidewalls. We have the 1.5-inch foam built into it. So behind this have 2 walls that come together here. This just gives us a nice profile, kind of rounded edges. It looks pretty. Outside of that, believe it or not, they don't serve much function. One of the things that New Horizons does on all of our Majestic custom builds, our air conditioning actually has condensation pumps. And you can't see it now, but outside of the main wall and inside of the cap, we've got a reinforced water line that runs from the air conditioner on the roof and then drops your condensation through the summer underneath the coach instead of giving you streaks down the sidewalls all summer. Just a small attention to detail that we offer on our Majestic Series unit. This kind of a unique build. It's one of our smaller ones we built over the last year. It's a 35-foot unit. You notice the basement is smaller. The upper deck is considerably smaller than the last unit we looked at. But we're still able to put the things that you want on it. This unit will feature a solar array. The solar controller is right there on the wall. Full house inverter, generator on board. Just everything you need to get off the grid, which is another reason why my customer on this unit wanted it to be smaller, so she could take it into more backwoods areas.